Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tiffany. I'm a school psychology intern and I am back with another video. I can't believe internship application season is starting again. It literally feels like it's only been a few months since I've gone through the whole process, applying and going through interviews and accepting and then doing all the paperwork. And I've only been in internship for a few months and they're already starting the process again. This might be different depending on which state and district you're in. Here, like in Northern Virginia, we start pretty early, so they open it up in October and then it's typically due around like the first week of December, and then you start getting interviews in December and January, and they usually end the cycle in January. So it's pretty quick and it's kind of scary because you're just starting your second year of grad school and you feel like you know nothing, but everyone else is in the same boat. So I'm here to share 3 general pieces of advice for the internship application process, like in and of itself. And then after that, I have some interview tips for you guys. And I've already kind of made some videos on the internship process last year when I went through this. I went through what they look for in an application, so I'll leave that up here. So make sure to check that out. And then I also created a video about some tea on the whole process and also like what kind of questions they asked me. So I'll leave that up here. So make sure to check those out, but make sure to check those out after you watch this video. So we will get started. The first general piece of advice I have is to start early. And now that the applications are out, I would definitely start looking into the questions and the pieces of the application packet that you have to put together. A lot of times, or I would say most of the times, they want letters of recommendation. So I would definitely get started on those. Email or meet in person with the person that you want to ask. You probably want to email because we're in a pandemic right now, unless you see them in person for class. And so I would ask, like, this is a favor that they're doing for you. Get started early, and this also includes like getting your resume and your like cover letters and your reports together. And so sometimes they want to see what is it called? Sometimes they want to see a writing sample. You definitely want time to compile all of that and make your application represent yourself and yourself as an intern candidate. Okay, so the second piece of advice I have for you is to think broadly and be open-minded. Depending on where you are, it could be really competitive to find an internship. I know some like huge districts that have like 20 open intern positions, and I know some districts that only take 1 or 2. And so if you are in an area where it's really, really competitive, I would be open-minded and apply to a lot of different places. And if you are open to moving, that's also a good option for you. Of course, like you might have to relearn some of like the laws and the regulations and kind of how like districts run their schools, but it might be an awesome opportunity for you if it makes sense for where you are in life. And so I think it's always good to kind of be open-minded and like open to new experiences, because if you keep yourself in a box, you might miss a lot of the opportunities that are being presented to you. The third general piece of advice I have is to not be discouraged. Like I said, it could be really competitive where you are, and this doesn't mean that you're less qualified or you know less or you're just you don't have the good qualities. It just means that maybe you weren't a good fit for the county. Maybe they just didn't have enough positions. And sometimes counties look for specific qualities and maybe you just don't have that. Like if you're not bilingual, like it is what it is. And so you have to find a county that's a good fit for you. And so don't get discouraged. Don't psych yourself out. You know more than you think you know. Like imposter syndrome is probably at an all-time high for a lot of us during this process and even during internship. And so it's normal. But make sure, like, be confident in yourself. Like, if there are things that you don't know, go and study them. Like, you can make yourself better. But in general, if you're in a school psych program and they've been training you really well and you've been doing all your work and you have generally good interpersonal skills, you know, you're probably a great candidate, and you just have to be more open-minded and maybe apply to a couple more places. Yeah, you guys will do great. Now for some interview tips. The first tip I have for you is to research the county or district that you are applying to or that you have an interview with, because it'll help you with the whole process. In the beginning, when you have to write a cover letter with your application packet, they probably will like it if you throw in a couple sentences in there about their county, whether it's like the size, the resources, the people that are there, maybe the way they do things. Yes, like I would definitely include a couple things in there about the county that you like or why you want to go there. And of course, in the interview, your first question might be, hey, why do you want to come to this county? And you want to have something to say. So definitely research your county, or like even better is to find someone there. Like if you know a school psych in that county and you can maybe have a chat with them, call them on Zoom and ask them some questions, that would be awesome. So then you have some connections, and then you have a couple great things to say about the county and why you want to go there. Second interview tip I have for you is to dress to impress. I'm not saying like go all out, like wear tux and like, you know, look fancy, but I'm saying like make sure you present yourself nicely. This is your first impression pretty much, like after your application packet, of like who you are, and you definitely want to present yourself as someone who is competent, who's likable. Dress pants or slacks are a good way to go. And then if you have like a button down or a blouse, like that's always, it always looks professional. And then you can always like throw on a blazer on top. Of course, you can like switch it up with a dress or a skirt. And then for shoes, you want to wear something closed-toed. So, you know, closed-toed heels or like professional looking boots, or flats are fine as well. I just don't like wearing flats personally because I'm really short, and sometimes my like pants drag on the floor if I wear flats, and I just look like really tiny. All right, number 3, make sure you are prepared for the interview as soon as you drive into the parking lot. So one of my classmates, we were talking about like interview tips and like things that we learned from our process like this past week, and so it's like fresh in my mind. But they came to their interview site, and then they were like getting a drink of water, like waiting in the hallway or something, and like a staff member walked by and like they said hi, and like I don't know, they like exchanged greetings, and then later he realized that's the person who's interviewing him. First impressions go a really, really long way, and they're so important. And so make sure you're always ready as soon as you drive in. Maybe they're driving in with you and they see like, I don't know, maybe they see that you're like your car is like really messy. My point is just be ready as soon as you get there. The interview doesn't start when they start asking you questions. It's like the greetings are really important. How you introduce yourself. I mean, these are psychologists, so they are probably studying your behavior whether you like it or not. So just be prepared and keep that in mind. The next one's really, really important, practice questions. So you can find practice questions either from people in your cohort, like your professors, if they had cohorts that gave them questions from the year before or previous years. And you can also look on the internet and then ask on forums or Facebook groups. People are really helpful. So I would definitely go and seek out those questions and then practice them. They're typically divided into 2 different categories. One's going to be personal questions like, tell me about yourself, what are your strengths and weaknesses, or like situational, you know, like tell me about a difficult situation you've been in, or a difficult parent that you had to manage, or a team member. And then the other side of the questions is going to be more content-based, like knowledge-based. And so they don't expect you to know everything because you're still a student and you're going to be learning all these things in internship, but I think they want to get like your base knowledge and see where they have to meet you. If there are things that you don't know, this is your opportunity to practice and relearn, reteach yourself, or teach yourself. And I think in the beginning, I didn't practice enough of the content-based knowledge. I was like so ready for all the personal questions. Like I had all my stories in my pocket and I knew all my strengths and weaknesses. I wrote them all out and I practiced so many times, but I didn't expect as much content-based knowledge. Like they asked questions like, what do you think is your role in MTSS? What are the characteristics of a child with autism? And so it is kind of specific. I don't think you have to like know the nitty-gritty of like the dates and laws and specific like data, but they want to know things that are practical in schools. And so maybe like about the eligibility process. What is the process of behavioral consultation. So it's also fine to say you don't know for a couple questions and tell them, you know, this is something that you want to learn during internship or that you're learning currently in class, but it's not okay to say you don't know for every single question. So I would definitely study up and prepare. And the last tip, this one's really important as well. Know what makes you stand out. Why would the county hire you over another qualified candidate? What makes you special? And so I would definitely think long and hard about that. If you can't really come up with a good answer, I would ask your classmates or your professors, because they've been with you for over a year now. They can probably give you some like professional or personal qualities that make you stand out. And for me, that was being bilingual and my passionate interest for culturally and linguistically diverse families. But I also said I am very passionate about spreading school psychology awareness through social media platforms. I think it doesn't even have to be a quality. It could be something that you're interested in, like a research interest or something that you're passionate about that you will work on during internship at their county, because they want to give you the best training, but they also want you to bring something to their county, whether it's like different types of assessments or different evidence-based practices or a different perspective, different training style, or if you're passionate about like a certain topic, maybe you can do like an in-service and train the other psychologists in your county. So yeah, I know it's a lot to think about and it could be really, really stressful, but you guys will definitely get through it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, or feel free to DM me on Instagram at SchoolPsychTiffany. I think that's it. Like, this process was pretty stressful for me. I have very high standards for myself, and two, like, I also had to ask for like a different timeline because I was traveling for my honeymoon for a month and I didn't know the process was going to overlap. And so just like a lot of different factors. It's also very competitive here. So like with only like 2-3 positions open in each county, I was really, really nervous that I wouldn't get a position. I guess with that being said, you guys will do great. Like I said, don't psych yourself out. Be encouraged and you'll be fine. If you're not having a lot of good luck with the internship application process, I would definitely reach out to your professors or any other professionals you know in the field. Having those connections are really, really important, and they can probably get you at least an interview or an open slot for an application. Oh, by the way, my county is starting the internship application process. I'll leave it down in the link below. Good luck, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.